Jim, do you have in the work that you've done, do you have like some standout examples that perhaps sharing with the audience would be good learning opportunity for them, people that maybe have lost their benefits, they shouldn't have, you were able to get them back?
Well, the person getting SSI and had that trust, we kept his benefits. I had a client on a CDR who had a kidney transplant. If you have transplants, they assume within 12 to 18 months you're going to be better.
Mm-hmm.
They don't look at anything. So he got his termination notice. He had uncontrolled diabetes. He didn't have a primary care doc. He only had an endocrinologist. So the person at DDS who was evaluating him said, well, if he doesn't have a primary care doc, he must not be disabled.
Mm-hmm.
And they terminated him.
Mm-hmm.
They were creating an overpayment. That's when he retained me. I told them to get a primary care doc. The primary care doc basically examined him, said, we're going to have you keep doing what the endocrinologist says. And eventually we went to a hearing where the judge thought it was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the thing is Social Security wants you to give up. If they send you that letter that you've been terminated, they think, some of the people there think, well, nobody really should get disability that long. So if you get this letter, you'll go back to work.
Yeah.
It's not that simple.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a lot of cases where people have gotten their workers' comp, then they get Social Security disability, and 10, 12 years later, they get this crazy overpayment letter. We first of all prove it wasn't their fault by getting the actual notices and showing that they checked, yes, I'm getting workers' comp. Then we have to prove the hardship part. An air traffic controller on workers' comp is getting about $100,000 a year in workers' comp. Some people think that's impossible to prove hardship. But if they have a nice mortgage, if they have car payments, who knows what medical bills aren't covered by insurance, and we can prove the hardship part based on the standard of living they have from what they assume their income was going to be. It's usually feasible to get the overpayment waived by showing that these claimants never expected to lose their money. The benefits go down in the future when the offset is recalculated, but the overpayment is waived. I've had people who come to me who have worked right up to the SGA limit for years and years, and then they get this notice that they're being terminated and overpaid, and they appeal. I can't help them. If every year their monthly income is exactly what the limit is to avoid a trial work period, they're going to lose. They can't possibly say, I could earn up to that exact amount, and when the rate went up, I was able to earn $50 or $100 a month more because I got a little bit better. They're just going to lose, and I can't help them.
Yeah. Yeah. I learned something here. I want to make sure I get it, though, before I say I learned the right thing. Is proving hardship is not a baseline dollar amount. Proving
Not at all.
hardship is relative to the lifestyle and the expenses.
Completely. Right? I had a client who got a $70,000 overpayment.
Mm-hmm.
Proving it was Social Security's fault was easy. When they granted him benefits, somebody made a typo and started his benefits 2 years before he became disabled. He had leukemia. He couldn't get authorization for a marrow transplant, so he took his entire savings, and his father chipped in money and paid for the $250,000. He had nothing left, although his wife was working. that was basically contributing to the family support.
Yeah.
Social Security agreed that he was without fault. He didn't know that they made a mistake when he got his past due benefit. And it was a hardship to pay it back because he'd used all his money for his medical bills.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, with some appeals, the insurance reimbursed him, but that was well after Social Security waived the overpayment.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
But
Interesting.
yeah, if you can get past the fault part, the hardship can be done. You have to dig deeply.
Mm-hmm. Good point.